Hitman, I believe, needs no introduction. Now, if you've never played Freelancer, it's a new game mode introduced in World of Assassination. Every single time you play it, the challenges are different, the targets are different. And once you reach the end of any particular series of challenges in Freelancer, you're faced with what's called a showdown. And showdowns are really cool because you're given 4 suspects, only one of which is your real target. You're given a series of different traits and identifiers, and you're supposed to figure out who the correct target is. Now, ideally, you just kill the target. You don't want to kill all of them because that impacts your final score, right? And you might not be able to make as much money off of the entire challenge. So, I finally succeeded in a showdown. I've tried many of them, and always managed to get myself killed. But tonight, I was successful. And while I did have to get a little creative, things got pretty interesting. I mean, listen, no one's perfect. At least this time I succeeded. Every other time I attempted a showdown, I got my ass kicked. Now, I had a couple of different ideas when it came to the approach. Initially, I thought, let me just seek out each target one by one and examine them, but I found that they all looked pretty much the damn same. The target that I'm looking for is supposed to be a foodie and also dehydrated. Now, if you follow the target around long enough, you can actually listen to their conversations, watch them maybe pull a granola bar or something out of their pocket and eat it, or start reading a book if they're a bookworm. There's all sorts of behavioral triggers that you can use to help narrow down who the right target is, but I don't really feel like doing any of that shit, so instead I had the idea to lure each one of them unsuspectingly one by one into this back room here. So, as I got them in there, I figured, well, I don't want to lose them. If they're going to leave here and I'm not sure which is the right guy, then I'm right back where I started. So let me just knock them out. So one by one, I knocked each of them out and stored their bodies in the cellar. I really did my best to try and fit all the bodies in there so I could still close the door, just in case anyone came into the other room. I didn't want them to see the bodies and get suspicious. So, you know, you have to get a little creative, move the bodies around a little bit, kind of, you know, play a little bit of unconscious guy Tetris. Yeah, well, you know, end of the day, I got the door closed, so, whatever, it worked out. No one saw me. Now, when you knock out any one of these suspects, they drop a burner phone, and using that burner phone, you can actually call a meeting. As soon as you call the meeting, that location is pinged on the map, and then the suspects make their way over there. So I figured, hey, I have a great idea. Why don't I just knock them all out, drag them all into the same room, and once I've got them all where I want them, then I'll use the suspect camera to try and figure out which one is the right person. And yes, the suspect camera, I probably should have gotten into that earlier. Essentially what you use it for is to see whether or not the person that you're targeting is the actual target. And pretty much all of them seem to have gray hair, a hat, earrings, and a necklace. So I couldn't narrow it down based on physical cues. Instead, I had to narrow it down based on behavioral cues. Well, here's the problem. They're all unconscious, lying in a pile in the back room. So I figured maybe take a closer look at each one of them and see if I could find out something that distinguished them, but I couldn't. So I figured, hey, why not take a chance? Boom! Wrong. Boom! Wrong. Boom! Wrong. Wouldn't you know it? The last guy I choose to kill was the correct target. So, yeah. You know, I succeeded. But in probably the most ass way possible.